Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Shivan and I am a first year doctor in the UK. And today I'm going to be talking you through some of my top tips if you're a final year medical student. We're going to talk about final year so that you can get through this very tough and very important year as smoothly as possible. Final year is really important because you're going to be giving your final exams and you're going to be preparing for life as a doctor. And trust me, life as a doctor is not easy, so it's best to be prepared as soon as possible. Yet at the same time, it's your last year of being a university student and your last year of being in medical school, so you want to make the most of that as well. As someone who's been through my final year, and I'd like to think I had a pretty great time, and for most of my final year I had smooth sailing and did learn from my mistakes. As someone who's done all that, I'd like to give you my 2 cents on how to survive your final year of medical school. Before we get further into the video, I want you to go check out my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Over there I make videos about medical school, university, life as a doctor, and lots of travel videos as well. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, go check it out, and if you enjoy it, smash that subscribe button and join me for a lot more videos. So now without any further ado, let's get into my top tips for your final year. So my first tip would be to start studying slowly but early. Final year does involve a lot of exams and a lot of studying, and you don't want to be overwhelmed at the last moment, so I'd say start with a little bit and keep doing it every day throughout final year. Whether that's just 5-10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day to begin with, even that would be super beneficial. So what I would do is I would wake up in the morning, and before I went to placement, I would spend about 10-20 minutes while actually eating breakfast on doing some practice questions. I started off with about 10 questions a day, slowly moved up to 20. As exams got closer, went to doing 50 questions a day, and then eventually when exam time came, I was doing 100 to 200 questions a day. And starting early really helped me build up because sort of the knowledge accumulated over time and the habit also sort of added up over time. If you read Atomic Habits, you know making small dents into something can make a big difference towards the end. So that's absolutely the case with studying in your final year as well. Do the same with your OSCEs. So for my OSCEs, I would spend about 1 session every week to begin with, early in my final year with my friends or with other med students I was on placement with, just practicing for OSCEs, so that I stayed sort of familiar with techniques, with content and stuff like that from early on. Tip number 2 is to get things out of the way early. So of course you have your portfolio, you have clinical skills, you have things to get signed off. You want to finish that off as early as possible in final year, because you have your exams to worry about. Just be on it from day one of your placement so that towards the end, you don't have to worry about getting things done, staying late, or attending extra placement days to get sign-offs. And additionally, the mental stress of knowing you have deadlines coming up and that you've not completed what you need to complete will also just make life harder for you. So get things done early. Number 3, that's to make the most of your final year of medical school. At the end of the day, like I said earlier, it is your last year of university and your last year of medical school, and you're going to be starting work as a doctor next year. So doctor life is definitely a different sort of, completely different ball game. If you think medicine is hard, like medical school is hard, you have no idea about what's coming. Being a doctor is much harder than being a medical student. You have a lot more responsibility, you have longer hours, you have more stress because the things you do actually impact people and you're answerable for them. Definitely make the most of this last year of university where you have less responsibility and you have more time to yourself. So make the most of your time with your friends and family, make the most of the days that you have off, and don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Number 4. Now, this may not be applicable to everyone. It depends on whether you have your elective in your 4th year of medical school or your last year of medical school. So if you have it in your 4th year, this may not be applicable to you because you might already be done with it. But if you're not, my 4th tip would be to plan your elective early and to plan it properly. So you want to plan something exciting and something that you're passionate about. Obviously stick within whatever restraints you may have, time-wise, finances-wise, practicality-wise, but do plan something that you're excited about, whether it's a specialty that you're super passionate about, or a country that you really want to visit, or a hospital that you really want to be in. make sure that you figure that out early and you start planning it and organizing it, because an elective is probably the best experience you will have in medical school if you, of course, organize things well. I would not recommend doing an elective on your own, or sort of organizing an independent elective on your own, unless you're going with friends. If you're not going with friends, I would say do a university sort of associated elective, so like a partner program kind of elective, or do one with an organized company like I did. So I did half of my elective with Work the World in Vietnam, and it was the most amazing experience. I stayed in a house with loads of other healthcare students, and I made loads of new friends and met loads of new people, and it was one of the greatest experiences of not only medical school, but I'd say my life in general. Number 5, see, when your apprenticeship block comes up in your final year, you're pretty exhausted and you're pretty close to feeling burnt out, because it's usually towards the end of your final year. You might have just had your exams before this. Medical school is coming to an end, so you're already slowly transitioning into that vacation mode. But try and make the most of this apprenticeship block, because this is your best chance to prepare for F1 or your first year as a doctor. Learn simple skills, whether it's note-taking, things like prioritization, which is very important as a junior doctor, and maybe things like how to handle a bleep and what on-calls are like, figure that out as well. And then practice some basic clinical skills, bloods, cannulas, ABGs, because you're going to be doing those when you're a doctor and you want to have some practice for it. So do the best you can to make the most out of this apprenticeship block, and trust me, you'll thank me for it once you become an F1 doctor. Now, number 6 is to enjoy your summer after your final year of medical school. This is your last chance to be free without responsibility. You neither have the responsibility of medical school in that summer, nor the responsibility of actually working or having a job. You may have some admin tasks to do, but other than that, just enjoy yourself. Spend time with friends and family, travel, spend time on your hobbies or things you're passionate about, because this is the last time you're going to get like a month or 2 months of time just to yourself. Number 7 is to take this opportunity to strengthen those bonds you made in med school. So I'm sure through those 5 years you've met some great people, you made some good friends. Well, this is your last year with them, because most likely you're all going to go off to different places, different hospitals, different cities. So make the most of this last year, whether it's small things like going to placement together, starting in the library together. You don't realize how much these things will matter to you later on, but you'll really miss them once you're done with med school. So make the most of those moments. And my final tip is regarding job applications. So job applications are a big part of your final year, of course, because you're transitioning into a job. And if you're a doctor in the UK, you know the system is a bit random. I mean, it's literally random, and your allocation is random into the different foundation schools and the job sort of combinations as well. So how I would do things is put safe options on top if you're not particularly keen on any single sort of deanery or region. If you really want a competitive deanery like London or the Northwestern deanery, which is like Manchester, then put that first. But be prepared that if you're going to put something competitive first, there's a high chance that you may get something you really don't want or really was at the bottom of your list. That's what happened to me, but things worked out in my favor towards the end because I'm actually enjoying where I am. But you know that may not be the case for you. If you're not particularly keen about one deanery or one foundation school or anything like that, then just sort of put a less competitive thing that you'd be happy with. So at least you have some sense of control over where you're going to go. Competition ratios for foundation schools in the UK are available online. So if you just Google it, you'll be able to find them and you'll kind of be able to predict what the competition ratios will be for your year of application. So those are my main tips for your final year of medical school. And you should really try and enjoy it as much as possible while obviously doing your best, working hard and making your way through this final stretch. Final year is difficult. There's a lot of responsibility, there's a lot of studying, there's a lot of exams, there are a lot of things to complete. But if you do things right, final year can be your best year of med school. And my final year was one of my most memorable years of this 5-year journey through med school. So I hope these tips were helpful. I hope they make your sailing through final year a bit more smooth. If you find them to be helpful, if you feel a little more confident about your final year now, then definitely drop a like down below on this video, smash that subscribe button, and join me for a lot more videos like this one.